All right, we back. I had to take a week off because COVID is a motherfucker.
Mm,
My first time getting it, I ain't like that at all. I ain't like that at all. This is, yeah, yeah. I'm not gonna blame nobody in particular for it. I
hmm
could, but I'm not gonna do that because it didn't caught everybody. It didn't caught a lot of people. When I say everybody, it's caught a lot of people,
Lots.
and but it's okay though because now I got to kick off into this spiel of health. We going to jump into this conversation about the healthy Black community,
Mhm.
um, and that can be interpreted a bunch of different ways. But we are talking about health, like in the traditional sense. No,
Yes.
like I'm not talking about relationships yet. I don't want to go there because
It's a lot, black man.
yeah, and like you get to a certain point, where it's just like, do I care to talk about that? Because it's like I'm about to get married. I don't care. Any,
Right.
anywho, um, before we start, I'm going to introduce my guest. But my guest, we have a new thing here. Where
hmm
you have to agree to a consent publicly.
Consent, of
It's
course.
a, it's a, it's, but it's a very particular consent. Okay.
Okay.
Do you consent to be your whole self, your full self, tell your whole truth, and be as Black as you want to be, so help your ancestors?
Absolutely.
I,
Absolutely.
I
Right
will
hand, right fist, whatever you
I will
need.
get into it. Let,
hmm
all right. So for those who don't know you, can you please introduce yourself? And I'm not going to do the typical DC millennial work thing to say what do you do, but
Right.
feel free to just jump in on that.
So I'm going to give you my real bio, and I'm going to give you the bio that I really want people to use for me. So my name, the real one is my name is Cavette Letitia Janine Buford, and I am a Black esthetician. It is what I do. I love helping people, specifically in the area of skincare. And by skincare, I mean full body skincare. And it has led me to different places. I've been licensed for 3 years. And it's helped for me to formulate my real mission and what it is that I want to do for our community specifically, and just really engaging folks to take better care of themselves. And the bio that I wish people would use when they speak about me is that my name is Cavette Letitia Janine Buford, and I'm a real nigga.
Okay, and I knew what you were going to say. I knew exactly what you were going to say because I know you, and I knew what was happening. So let the record show that when I write the notes for this episode, I'm going to
hmm
say that I'm going to give you a real one first,
Okay.
and then give you the professional one second.
Yes, because the
Okay.
professional one can be very long and extensive because I just have my hands in various things, and people always ask me that question. And I'm like, if you know me, you know what I do, but what is the real thing?
Right.
What is
I'm
the
a
most
real nigga
important
who
thing?
happens to do work as a Black esthetician.
Yes, I like that.
Okay,
I
but you
like
know
that. It
what?
works. It works.
So this is perfect time. It's actually just it floats right into our first segment because I
Okay.
have to ask, um, what does it exactly mean to be an esthetician, and not in the Instagram clout way? Because it felt like
Come on.
for it was like so there was like certain professions that just kind of like popped up that I didn't know about,
hmm
or I knew about them, but I didn't realize that how many people actually did them.
hmm
It was like real estate was one of them. Like I knew people were doing real estate, but I was like, oh, so all of y'all are real estate agents?
hmm
And then it was like, you got your lash techs. No hate to lash techs. I'm not no
hmm
hate. I'm just saying it kind of just popped up, right? And it was like, oh, everybody get
hmm
some bag doing cool. But being an esthetician was another one of those things.
hmm
And I was just kind of like, um, I'm gonna be rude real fast. But like, can you do that work and your skin really ain't really like good?
I feel you. I feel you.
I'm,
I feel you.
I'm just so what
So
does that mean? What does it mean to be an esthetician?
So it means a couple of things to be an esthetician, and specifically working on black skin. It is a whole nother arena, to the point where people have created books about multicultural skincare. That is what they are speaking of. And I can get into the technical aspect of it, of the Fitzpatrick scale, how every single culture lands on the specific scale. We have Fitzpatrick's 1, which is more so of your Caucasians, and then you go all the way up to Fitzpatrick 6, which is the folks from the continent, black folks. It's very, very deep. And yes, you are you are correct. It is something that has become super popular over the past couple of years. When I entered into aesthetic school, there was more people in the massage portion of the school instead of aesthetics, because to become a massage therapist, it's extensive and it's a lot, but to be an esthetician, it was kind of like fluffy. I'm gonna just wash some faces. I'm not really gonna do much. But now, as an instructor, I am now an aesthetics instructor as well. I didn't mention that before. There are more people joining the aesthetics program than there are the massage program. It is a total flip. Um, and yes, aesthetics it seems like it can be trendy. It seems like it can be a fad, but when you are wanting people to take care of you and take care of your skin, it should not be a fad at all. If anybody knows me, I'm not too much of a fan of the Twitter stations, not really a fan of the Instagram girls, as I tell my students, the TikTokies, all of that. And that is actually what brought a lot of them into school, because they see it and it's so cool. But when we really get into the coursework, which has anatomy and physiology, which has chemistry, which has electricity, which has it has a lot, is very extensive, their mind is blown because they didn't know that we had to go in so deep with it. So being an esthetician you play many different roles. Number one, you are a problem solver. People come to you because they want something to be changed. And they need your help. They need your assistance. So you're almost like a coach. Also, you are de facto like a chemist. You're putting chemicals on people's face and you're trying not to burn them or harm them. It is much, much deeper than people than people think than people
So,
think.
so
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you brought that up, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
like with the Twitter stations, you keep seeing these situations.
Yes.
Like these are terms that I didn't know about 4 or 5 years ago. Where
Mm-hmm.
somebody goes in for a chemical peel
Correct.
and they end up with a chemical burn,
Correct.
and it's like, because and I guess with as extensive as it is, as you're saying, like people have to go in and like there's anatomy and physiology,
Yes.
there's these highly technical
Mm-hmm.
sciences in it, right?
Yes.
Is that a weeding out process? It's not on purpose, but is it a weeding out process, like where people's like, oh, this is way more than I thought it was going to be. Let me
Honestly, and I'm gonna keep it cute because I still am employed in the field, but this is something that we have talked about, or this is something that I have talked about extensively with the with the people that I work with. You always want quality versus quantity. And some people, they count themselves out way too early in the process. With the curriculum that I teach, depending on when you come in, your first week can be anatomy and physiology 1. And you are learning about the muscles and the bones in the face, the arms and the hands, because we massage the hands and the arms as well, and we treat the full body. And we go into cellular work, and it's so, I feel like I should be a nursing student at this point, or it's very, very, yeah, it's very extensive. So yes, there should be a weeding out point, because some people, they just go to school because they want to be makeup artists, or some people, and that was what I wanted to do when I started school. When I started school in 2016, I had been a self-taught makeup artist for 5 years at that point. And I knew that I wanted something different, and I knew I wanted to add to my skill set as a makeup artist. So I just knew that I was going to be this bridal makeup artist, and I was going to take care of my clients for at least for a minimum of 6 months leading up to their wedding date. And then I would have lifelong clients because, of course, they want their skin to still look amazing, and their friends and family. I can't even tell you the last time I did some makeup professionally. So you find what it is that you love. And now a lot of the folks who are coming into school, and it is a field that is predominantly women led. We do have some men sprinkled here and there. Yeah, a lot of them, they're coming in because they want to do waxing. Okay. So, because waxing, you're going to get a lot of money. People need to be waxed all year round. There are certain times of the year where it's very, very popular. You're going to get your bag. We get to the waxing part of the curriculum and people are like, I quit, I tap out. They didn't know that it was so extensive. Like it's so like, it's a lot more than just pulling hair. You have to know the differences between the types of wax that you're using, or do they have different polymers in the wax to make it stretch? Is it a high heat or a low heat type of wax? You know, is it hard? Is it soft? What else can I use? Do I need to learn sugaring? It's so this field is vast, and it is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
I don't even know what I signed up for now, because I'm sitting there, I was like, yo, wait a minute, because you know what? Because today on the Twitter webs, right?
Yes.
They had this video of this black man who had he had a little monkey on the back of his neck.
I seen that.
A little small capuchin and all that. Just there. And somebody, I'm not gonna say, I don't know if they were an esthetician. I don't think
they weren't. I can tell.
I just think it was like somebody who was related to him.
Correct.
I'm gonna remove this little, you know,
patch
or hair that you got on the back of your neck. And I'm watching the timeline, and in my head, I'm like, I don't even like it sometimes when somebody rips off a Band-Aid on my skin too much, too fast, because it hurt. You mean to tell me that people were talking all types of crazy about him, like he was weak? And I get it, because, you know, the women folk go and get waxed in various areas and stuff all the time. But in my head, I'm like, the back of somebody's neck ain't nowhere to be messing with just willy-nilly. The person ain't had gloves in their hands.
Exactly. So, you know, I watch those types of videos, and my students share those videos with me. And of course, they want me to not be so serious about it, but I'm very passionate about my field. And also, I am a natural educator. So I want people to actually know what's going on, so that when they go and get these services, they're like, okay, this is not supposed to be happening. Or if they want to do these services on themselves, I can teach them how to do it correctly. The application of the wax was wrong. Just the whole preparation of the skin was wrong. The sanitation, you notice there was no gloves. Like, it was just all bad. And there are so many other things. That's why I don't get on TikTok and watch these videos, because I just want to throw my phone.
See, and look, I'm gonna tell you the truth. The only reason I even knew that the lack of gloves was an issue, because I be watching the pimple popper videos.
Yes.
Right. And in my head, cause you get lost in them. Forget TikTok, the Facebook videos that they be having on the pimple pop and stuff. Really fascinating, because the first thing I'm thinking is, how did your skin get to that point?
How did your skin get to that point? And that's a whole nother conversation. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah, we go. Yeah, because I don't be knowing. That's my first question. How did your skin get to that point? Right. So that's the first thing. Secondly, I started noticing, okay, you got some people out here, okay, you out here pushing it with your fingers. You ain't got no gloves on. You ain't got the tools. What? I know what the tools look like now. I'm confused. What you doing? But so from that perspective, and you kind of touched on the Franklin scale. I ain't gonna get into the fact that the ones is
but see, that's the thing. So now it's flipped. If you've noticed, like with makeup, they'll have the deeper colors starting out at 1, and then they'll do it in descending order now. So it's flipped. And these are topics and things that people really aren't noticing, but it's happening all around us. And unless you're tapped into said community, you wouldn't even really notice.
Okay. So in that situation, right, the sanitation stuff, okay, so like with you working on Black skin,
Yes.
like you kind of talked about the multicultural aspect of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you like give us like a real nigga version of like what it
Right.
means to have to deal with the intricacies of Black skin, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
like the only thing I know about comes from like me loving tattoos, right? So like I
Right.
understand that like darker skin may not be as dense as
Mm-hmm.
like Caucasian skin, and that kind of impacts like how deep certain stuff. Like I know how it deals with like tattoos, so I love tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what does it mean for like your field?
So for our field, working with people who have Fitzpatrick 4 through 6 skin, and 4 is more typically like your people who are from like the Middle East, Latin American countries, olive type skin, all the way up to 6, which is your sub-Saharan Africa, Aboriginal folks. So just to give you all a range, and then you have like your people in the middle, and that could be anybody. There are a couple of issues that we are mainly concerned about as estheticians, and I'll leave dermatologists out of it because that is not my scope of practice. So, or dermatology. So, as far as estheticians go, when it comes to Black skin, we are mainly concerned about hyperpigmentation. And these are the dark spots that are left all over the face when you break out. Also, keloids. You know, Black folks are highly susceptible to keloiding of skin. Of course, that is more on the dermatological side of how we can prevent that. But this is also talked about in the Fitzpatrick scale. Also, from what I have seen, working with Black skin or just with clients who are African American or multicultural, actually using the right products for your face. A lot of us are still using the same products that grandma, mama, auntie, pop, all of them either avoided using because they felt like you don't need all of that, you're good, or they've used it and because they haven't seen the damage that it does, they pass down these terrible habits, and I'm gonna call them terrible. They pass down these terrible habits to people around them. And then when you as a professional try to correct, it's kind of hard to get people to tap in, to get right. So these are some of the things that I see. But the number one thing is hyperpigmentation, and how to treat hyperpigmentation. Because of course, different products, even going as so more into the medical field or the medical aesthetics field, using lasers. We have to use a certain type of laser on our skin to get rid of hyperpigmentation, and this all goes into the cycle of how melanocytes are formed. It's a deep conversation because a lot of so how melanocytes are formed, and then also taking care of it with chemical peels. There are certain chemical peels that we were told that we cannot use on our skin, being a Fitzpatrick 4 or 6, like our TCA pills and our Jessner pills. So with technology and other product advancements, we have been able to take better care of our skin. And now, because of that, you see more Black folks being more comfortable with getting these services. We have to do better.
I'm
Yeah.
blown, yo. I'm just telling you the truth. Like I'm just
Mm.
because in my head, like, especially in I don't want to gender this conversation, but
No, it's okay.
I have to gender it to a degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a Black man,
Mm-hmm.
the maintaining of one's skin is not something that gets passed down. It's
Mm-hmm.
like you got your cherry almond Jergens, like
Right. Or
put that
that
on your
watery
face.
ass Queen Helene.
Hey, wait, first and foremost, I just want an apology from all of our forefathers for passing down that extra watery based cocoa butter
Terrible.
that like it had the consistency of cheap
Mm-hmm.
suntan lotion, and it didn't, and you still will get ashy
Still
very
would. Mm-hmm.
like out here with the gray sickness just real fast, just so like it's not something that's passed down. Like I
Right.
don't remember like my dad would buy certain products that were a little
Mm-hmm.
But even still, I couldn't tell you what those products did. I couldn't tell you
Right.
like, oh, this one has a scent. Do you know how that scented product is going to impact you if you put it on your face compared to
Mm-hmm.
anywhere else? Um, and I guess I was we started to like really think about it when I started growing facial hair, because then I started recognizing like I can't take care of my hair on my head and the
Right.
skin underneath it the same way I take care of the hair of my face and skin underneath it, and that being a whole thing. So you teach your people who are students.
Right.
How do you have that conversation with people who aren't interested enough to like jump into it, but are just kind of like, yeah, my face breaking out. What I do?
Right. I definitely try to break it down. And this is one of the things that I'm trying to get past, because I know that because it's something that I'm passionate about, I can be very wordy. So, I always try to lead a conversation, and I try to make it as plain as possible, because you do have some folks that are product junkies. They know every ingredient and you can really get into the conversation. But if it's somebody who is just like, what do I need to take care of this? They want something direct and they need you to be honest. And they're like, okay, where can I get it? So I try to be, float in between those two things. I'm very open and honest, and anybody can reach me for any type of question to be answered. I think that I've like not exposed myself, but I'm pretty open for people to engage with me about these things. Because some people, they want you to pay a fee or whatever, and sometimes it's not even that deep. Like, I really came into this field to help people. My degree is in psychology, so I love to help people. I love to tap into the psyche of folks, and really it's behavioral, or just tapping into changing people's behavior. And that's where I'm trying to go with it. Like, how can we dig in deep? And I know that we're going to talk about this. How can I dig in deep for you to notice that it's just not your skin, like it's your mindset? It is real deep. And you're right. Our folks did not teach us these things of how to better take care of ourselves. So when it comes to taking care of Black skin, we have to really be like, I am worth this purchase. I know that I can properly take care of my skin. Some people see it as a luxury, and it's not. It's maintenance. You want to put your best foot forward. So when dealing with Black skin, it is very, very intricate. A lot of the products that are on the market may not necessarily be marketed for our Fitzpatrick. And the majority of the products anybody can use, but it's more than just finding products that are for your skin type most of the time. And we just need to be able to have that conversation and have people ask questions. Like, you can't be afraid. Like, if you want to change, you want to change. So it
All
goes
right,
down that route. Mm-hmm.
cool. All right, so we're gonna play a little game,
Okay.
light game. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So it's gonna be like it's like a this or that game. You tell me
Okay.
which one's all right. So hard soap, shower gel.
Okay. So it depends. And this is kind of like drink champs. I wish I could take a shot. Honestly, it depends on, now with these, because we're talking about the whole entire body. It depends on your skin type and the type of skin concerns that you have. Because if you are super dry and you're using a foaming type of cleanser, of course it's going to dry you out. And if you are not properly exfoliating the body and or moisturizing, it doesn't even matter what type of cleanser that you're using on the skin. There are certain bar soaps or certain, people retail that are DIY, or they're made at home. They're made from more natural holistic products that can be great for you. But, it's soap is to cleanse the body, which means it's getting rid of any and all dirt that's off the body, any and all moisture that has been built up, and you have to replenish that. So bottom line, I just want you to wash your ass if we're keeping it a buck. But it's also what do you do after that? Like, how are you keeping the moisture levels in your body up? You know, what is your water oil balance? Like, what's going on with that? So I could do either or. I will say for people, because I know that it has had a chokehold on all of us for forever, please stop using black soap. It strips the skin. Yeah, it strips the skin. We don't need any of that. You need to be nice to your skin. Add moisture. We need to start exfoliating the skin more. Use some exfoliate. Use a scrub. Use exfoliating mitts.
I was about to go. I was about to go there, right? Because like, all right. So this is gonna sound like it's too much information, but it's not. Because in my head, I realized that my dad was cleaning himself different than most people I knew,
and I love it. Please
get
right.
So when I was a kid, right, my dad started buying exfoliating gloves. So like, my dad's a little different. My dad's a very masculine man, very masculine man. But my dad, so like he tore his ACL and MCL when like was like 93, and he started having like foot problems, and he had like an ingrown toenail and other stuff was going on. So my dad started going to like the nail salon and getting his hands and feet done, like in the mid-90s. This is way before,
get right.
Like people was in it, right?
Right.
And then I started, so I'm like, I'm noticing, I'm like, all right, that's okay, cool. I'm a kid, I'm seeing it. My dad's getting exfoliating gloves, and he takes showers with exfoliating gloves, right?
Yes.
So I started to notice, because like one day I had to run into the restroom and like he had to jump out the bathroom or that. I started to notice like sand in the bottom of the tub, and I was like, "Yo, where did that come from?" He was like, and what he said was like, "That's how you know you're clean." And in my head, I'm like, "Yo, if every single time I'm cleaning my body and I don't see the stuff come off me, am I actually clean?" So is it like, tell me if it's off? Like, he was using it was a very like natural soap that made it, but I was just like, "Yo, how is that coming off of you?" So am I tripping or?
So I'll say this: there are a few, like, if people just do 3 steps to take care of their skin, and this is like full body care, not just your face, we would have like just a great level of skin. First is cleansing it with the right product for your skin type. You know, you don't want to over dry your skin. You want to be very nourishing to your skin. There is a water oil barrier that our epidermis has between our we have the epidermis and we have the dermis. Well,
I remember that.
We have the epidermis, and then we have the dermis, and then we have like a junction in between that, and then we have our barrier, which we need to support. Our epidermis, the skin that we can touch, is 5 layers. It's 5 layers. 5 layers. So many things go on in those layers that we have to make sure that it is hydrated properly. We also have to make sure that we are exfoliating this layer. If we do not exfoliate this layer, that means that all of the newer skin cells that are being produced, they're being pushed up, and they can't go anywhere. They're just building up. That's why people are so ashy. That's why people got the dry skin on their elbows and things like that. You have got to scrub your shit. You got to scrub your shit. Like, come on. Once you scrub and all the dead skin is off, then you have to hydrate / moisturize the skin. That's why if any of y'all were ever taught to come out of the bathtub or the shower a little bit damp and then put on that baby oil gel or put on whatever, moisturizer on top, that's sealing in that hydration and that moisture that you need so that your skin can flourish. You do those 3 steps, cleansing, exfoliating, and hydrating, it can go a long way. It goes such a long way, and people try to overcomplicate it, and it's not that complicated.
Okay, so like you said, we should start using black soap and
Correct.
Okay, I like using charcoal-based soaps. the cold press ones, right? I really don't know exactly what they do. I just feel cleaner after I use them.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me some of like the real gimmicky stuff that's out there. Cause like I feel like now looking at it that like the use of charcoal kind of like boomed over the last handful of years.
Mm-hmm.
So like are there some other things out there that people just kind of be like, because like first it's like I never feel clean if I use Dove.
Right, because it leaves a layer on the skin. Please, people, please discontinue using that. Like I like Dove is a no-no for me.
Okay.
Dove is a big no-no. It leaves a layer on the skin. It is a moisturizing bar. It is not a cleanser. Y'all see that it says moisturizing bar on the box.
Okay. So like if people have the time for long showers, right? And I'm still gonna ask a question about like some of the gimmicky stuff. But would it make sense then if people use a cleanser based lotion? I mean cleanser based soap and then go back over their body with a moisturizing base soap?
You can do that. You can do that. That's called double cleansing. Some people, they feel like they need a deeper cleanse. So that's why they will use things that are like a charcoal soap or a black soap, something that is supposed to detoxify. And that's really when you should only use those types of products, is to detoxify the body or deep clean. Because though they actively strip the skin of any and all moisture. So that's why you have to be careful. Some people will use black soap or charcoal based soap or something that has like a salicylic acid every single day. And then they wonder why their skin is sensitive. It's because you're stripping your skin. Every time that a client comes to me or somebody comes to me and they're saying my skin is sensitive, I'm like, I'm about to be very rich. We are using the wrong products, or people are telling us to use these different products, and folks are desensitizing their own skin. So when it comes time for them to use things that will actually address their skin concerns, they can't tolerate it because that barrier is affected. They've desensitized their face or their body.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm looking in my past and thinking of like all these mistakes.
Listen.
But you know what? That's why you had a conversation. I don't know what I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
None of us do, right?
And and going back to what you stated before, should we really trust people? And I know this is like random, but it just came back into my head, so I do want to state it. Should we really trust people whose skin looks a certain way? It's just like when you go to a hairstylist. Most Black women are gonna tell you, I don't want the hairstylist whose hair is really done. I want sis whose hair is all over the place, because that means she's working hard. Now, as an esthetician, for some Black women, that's it. They like, oh, I want somebody who look like they working hard. As far as aesthetics goes,
as
far as aesthetics goes, your face is your brand. And a lot of people, they enter into aesthetic school because they want answers about their skin. These are very real people, and they are at their wits' end, and they are willing to pay between $12,000 and $15,000. When I was in school, my bill was 12 G's. The young ladies and the young men that are in school now, it is 15K plus, and it's only getting higher. They want to pay this amount of money to take better care of their skin because they know how it affects them, because it affects them on a different level. So there are some estheticians who may not have the best skin. However, some people will be able to relate to them a little bit more because of what they see. Mm-hmm. But I definitely understand, like, if I want a makeup artist that's always beat, or they're going to they have a nice clean look. Same thing with esthetician. I don't need somebody whose hair is everywhere. I need for their skin to be glowing. I need to see something that is good, and I have my moments.
That was a self ad. You ain't low. It's cool. It's cool.
No, it's not a self ad.
Who's listening to this, right? If you wanted to give her a nickname, it would be Black Mirror, because the glow, you can see yourself off this. It's shining. It's just
see, and that's only because you follow those key steps. For me, people be like, well, how does your skin look like? Listen, I use a lot of exfoliating products, and then I also highly and heavily hydrate and moisturize my skin. The reason why the light is bouncing off of the skin is because there's nothing to absorb it. There's no dead skin. If you have dull skin,
about pause. What type of science is this? So you mean to tell me that when people's faces be looking dull, it's like a reflection of like them not cleansing the dead skin off?
It's poor exfoliation. Yes, it's poor exfoliation. And if anybody has come in contact with me, and I know y'all probably like, can this girl get out of my face? Because I'm always scanning people's faces now. And I can literally, just, I'll be in a conversation and I'll ask somebody randomly, when's the last time you exfoliated? They can't even tell you. They don't even know what exfoliating the skin is or what the proper product is to use. So it's all about light refraction. If the light is absorbing it, that means it's something that is there. So if you remove it, then it has nothing, it'll bounce off.
That's simple maths. That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. Oh, another question for the skin. Well, yes. It's the same question, but for two parts of the body, right?
Okay.
And this may differentiate because of the Franklin scale. Cool.
Okay.
Cocoa butter or shea butter?
Okay. So when we talk about butters and oils, we really need to concentrate on how comedogenic or non-comedogenic they are. And that pretty much means, are they pore clogging or non-pore clogging? There are certain oils and butters that people have no business using on their skin, specifically because of their skin type and the type of skin concerns that they have. For me, and it's a personal preference, for me, because I grew up being slathered down in it, cocoa butter is not my friend. I don't want any type of butters that have cocoa butter in it because of the scent of it. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not something great to use. I like shea butter because of the fat content in it and how it seals, moisture into the skin. But another great butter to use is mango butter. High in antioxidants, very, very easy to use and to spread on the body. If you are a coconut oil fan, please discontinue. That's just my personal preference, but it is highly comedogenic. Like, it does its job, especially when people use it on the face, because some people can get away with using it on their face, some people cannot. Coconut oil is so great at what it does. It's antibacterial and it's anti-inflammatory. So it's clearing everything out of the face. It's killing everything. But because it's constantly clearing everything out of the skin, you're going to be in a constant cycle of breaking out. So if you're going to use coconut oil, definitely use all of those preparations from the neck down. However, if you are having any type of body acne issues, it's going to flare this up. So you have to be very careful. And it's a dry oil. It doesn't really absorb. It just lays on the body. So you have to be very careful. So really, with the shea butter, cocoa butter question, it could be whatever you choose. Just make sure that you're doing your research, that this is not clogging your pores. So it depends on if it's comedogenic or non-comedogenic.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay. Washcloths or loofahs?
Okay, we're gonna no loofahs. No. And now, are you talking about natural loofahs, or are you talking about those little sponges that people like to use and not throw in a washing machine and clean? What are we talking about? You talking about them sponges?
I see. When I've never used one of those. I don't even know what a natural loofah is. All I know is a little one that look like a flower.
Okay, so the little body poofs.
Body poof and loofahs ain't the same thing. Understood? No. Okay.
No, it's not.
The loofahs is like be the ones on the stick that look like.
So like the natural, and those used to be living things until they dry them out. They're natural sponges.
Right. Right. The sea sponge. Okay.
I enjoy using the loofahs. I am an exfoliation girl. Like that is my thing. And when my products come, because they are coming, I'm going to focus on that. Yes. I'm going to if you're an investor and you're listening, please hit me up because the girl needs some coins so I can help out the Black community. Okay. So with the natural sponges, I like this because, you know, once you're using them, it's natural on the body. It's a nice, it could be a nice gentle exfoliation. But if you don't want to be harsh, then you find something else. But I like the more natural thing. Now with the washcloths are great as well because they're exfoliating the body. Even the folks who use their hands, that's great too. But when you're washing your face, make sure you wash your hands before you touch your face because our hands have germs on it. You know what I'm saying? So you can use whatever, but if you are one of those folks who uses the body poofs or the loofahs that are on the string and you keep it hanging up in your shower and you don't wash it or properly cleanse it, it's nasty. It's growing mold and mildew. You have to get rid of that. I'd rather you use exfoliating gloves that you can wash every week. I'd rather you use a washcloth. I'd rather you use your hands if you're not going to properly maintain that item that you're using to cleanse your body.
I'm horrible. I'll use the exfoliating gloves, and then when I'm done with it, it goes in the trash. Like I'll buy.
That's fine.
I'll buy them in bulk if I can.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. That's fine. It's a lot about sanitation. You know, sanitation purposes, you know, some of those things are only meant to be used for like a couple of weeks and then you throw them away. They're not meant for forever. I know some people who have those little body poofs and you can actually see at the bottom of the rope it's black or it's green.
Yeah. How that?
Because niggas are nasty. But it's okay. We're here to teach. We're here to teach people.
Listen,
If people don't know, then they can't do better. And that's really what I'm here.
Nasty. Okay. Yeah.
But that's what I'm here for, is to educate people and to make people feel comfortable and let them know, like, yeah, you did it this way, but we're gonna do better. We're gonna do better.
Okay.
So
all right. So last one.
Okay.
And this is a little different.
Okay.
What type of lotions should we not be using? Because I already know that I know that we as a people don't use SPF inclusive lotions enough.
Right.
But like the older I get, I'm like, yo, like, yeah, it's easy to go and buy this bottle of Nivea or Jergens. Like now, granted, my dad was like I said, he was a little different. He was he was a Lubriderm dude. Like, he was like, if I forget some lotion, it's gonna be this, bro. I'm like, yo, this Lubriderm cost is a little up there, but I get it though, because you put on the other stuff and it don't feel like that. So like, what type of lotions should we not be using?
I mean, it's a personal preference. Because I am a shea butter baby, I love shea butters. I love butters because it seals everything in. And I love oils. And I'm the type of person, as soon as I step out of the shower, I am putting oil on my damp skin. And then I'm putting a shea butter on top of that. So everything is nicely sealed in. Folks should use the type of lotion that they choose. Just make sure that it is emollient enough to keep that hydration into the skin. Make sure that it's occlusive enough so that it's spreading on the skin as well. Folks should not be using Queen Helene. If you know that you have super dry skin, well, okay, let me back it up. If you know that you have super dry skin and nothing that you're using is working, I'm going to ask my famous question: when's the last time you exfoliated? Because of course, if that dry skin or that dead skin is on the top layer, anything that you put on the skin is not going to sink in. So we want to make sure that people are properly exfoliating, and then with whatever lotion that you choose to use or cream, it's going to go ahead and sink in. You just have to make sure that you are choosing something that's right for your skin type. If you have issues for the body, if you have issues with any type of like acneic problems, or if you're having some like keratosis pilaris, you know, that's like the prickly skin, any ingrown hairs. Of course, there are specialized lotions for that. But, you know, this is why estheticians, especially Black estheticians, are so important, because we can speak specifically to our community and the needs that we specifically need to address.
Yeah, because like, you know, like this is our skin is special.
Yes, it is.
But I guess for some of us, it never translated to, yes, our skin is special. So why you try and take care of your skin like it's everybody else's skin, right? So like, with all that being said, like, so now it's kind of like, I'm glad that you brought up that you have a bachelor's degree in psychology.
Yes.
From the Winston-Salem State University.
Go Rams. Chew tobacco.
Shout out to Class of Coltrane.
Class of Coltrane in the building.
I'm not going to jump all into that, because it's a whole thing.
That's a whole nother show.
I'm just going to let y'all know, for all y'all listening, like, you will be seeing a lot of people that I went to school with on this season, and that's okay. We be doing dope shit. It is, this is what it is. Like, you listen, it's just, you got to deal with it. But I'm glad that, you know, you showed like a correlation to a degree, but we're gonna get into it a little bit more. Like, you have an understanding of people's behaviors and things that influence people's behaviors. People don't know about abnormal psychology or what that actually means, but abnormal is anything that's not considered normal. So like the things that impacts people and impacts their behavior in ways that may not be so positive for their well-being, right? What's the correlation, especially for us, right? I mean, I don't even like. It's a question I was just wondering. What impact does colorism have on the work that you do?
Okay, so it has so much impact, but on the base level, just companies formulating products that are specifically for us. You know, really addressing our needs, utilizing people of color, specifically Black people, in their advertising. Some people, they'll see things and they're like, oh, that's just not for me. So let me go over to here. And there is this show that is on HBO Max. It's narrated by Keke Palmer. It's called The Skin I'm In, or something like that. It's so good. It is so good. I'm gonna get the real name, because I feel like everybody needs to watch this show. But it breaks down all the different products that we use in our everyday life that can affect our bodies. Or the different regions. So they did nails, they did hair, they did makeup, and they did like regular products.
Not so pretty.
Not so pretty. Not so pretty. That's what it's called. So, colorism. There is an episode that like I said, I need for people to watch, where they talk about Johnson & Johnson, and of course how Johnson & Johnson was placing asbestos, or they knew that there was asbestos in their formula since they created. Yes. You don't remember that? Remember when all the people were popping up with like ovarian cancer and things like that? Yes.
That you unlocked the memory. You unlocked it. I completely forgot that.
Yes. So it is a big thing. But the one part that every time I play it that gets me is that there was a study done by Johnson & Johnson, and they tested these products on folks that were in jail. Guess who they tested it on? Take a wild guess. It was in Philadelphia. Please take a wild guess on the demographic that they tested it on.
Niggas.
Yes. Black men. A Tuskegee experiment that we never knew about. So I'm encouraging everybody to watch this show, because it breaks it down. It breaks it down. And it blew my mind. I was like, so y'all really did this. And then it also points out how Johnson and Johnson, they specifically will target African American communities or people of color because they know that this is a trusted product and we will continue to use things without questioning them. If they know that, oh, they see it's a good idea and it's a household name, they're going to keep doing it. They don't care. It's crazy. And that's me explaining it in layman's terms, but Miss Kiki Keep a Check Palmer explains it very well. Okay, that's my girl. Shout out to her. It's her birthday on today. My girl is 29. She's about to go into her 30s. Yes, keep a check. Okay.
It feels very wild that she's turning 29 because
the millennial diva loves me some her.
Watching you since, like, I'm barely older than her, and I'm like, yo, he was.
I mean, that's how some of us feel about Kyla Pratt.
True, but you know,
Kyla Pratt about to be 40 in 3 years.
That's crazy. But no, speaking of good skin, anywho,
right?
Because now you just brought up a question in my head, and I don't even know the answer for it. Who is essentially the Henrietta Lacks of the Black skin history?
That is a great question. And we have been used as test dummies for so long, all these different preparations and things like that. That's a great question.
Because like now I'm like, yo, so they basically was just like, oh, Johnson and Johnson. I'm just like, first thing I thought of was baby oil, right? Because and I don't even that's the only thing I recall being in my house from Johnson. The baby shampoo that was like the goldish color and the baby oil.
But people have always used, like, if you are of a certain age, when you grew up, grandma, auntie, whoever put some powder on their chest.
Oh yeah.
If you are a young lady, you knew that grandma, auntie, or whatever said put a little powder in them panties. It's gonna keep you dry. And just think about that powder. I know. Just think about that powder with all of its asbestos in it and our bodies absorbing that.
Wait a minute. Oh no. Time out. So now do we know if it like disproportionately impacted what?
It did. And that's why I'm encouraging everybody to watch that episode. Sure did. There's so many lawsuits out. There's so many lawsuits out.
Because you know what? When we talk about skincare, right, we often talk about the skin that is easily exposed to others.
Yes.
But we don't really talk about the skin that we expose to others in the night times and how people take care of those areas too.
Yes.
Especially for Black men, because you can literally go inside of someone. Regardless of what your persuasion is, you can literally go inside of another person. So just the thought process of taking care of your members.
Yes.
But oh my God.
It's mind-blowing. And so these are the things that certain people that, that get into the field should be paying attention to. So a lot of people get into this field because they think it's a quick flip. They think it's a quick check. And it's not. You literally, and as an instructor, we teach you the basics. And it takes a great instructor to pour into you a little bit more and to cause you to think a little bit bigger. Think big, bitch. You think it's small. You got to think big. Okay? Think big, bitch. Think big.
Sidebar. Can I tell you how much I love that nigga, yo?
He's everything. The greatest motivational speaker on the planet.
You know, he reminds me and talks just like my Uncle Ronnie, my departed Uncle Ronnie, right? And so every time I hear, I was like, "Oh my God! Like who took my Uncle Soul?" He talks exactly the same way.
Like I don't know anybody who has seen that video. Like I remember the first day I seen that, and my spirit, and this is no exaggeration, like my whole entire body, it felt electric. Because if you don't feel that, what else you gonna feel? You thinking small.
Think big.
You need to be thinking big. Think big. Yes, think big, bitch. I had somebody today was like, tell me that I need to think big. Think big. You thinking small. You need to
Yes.
be thinking big.
So we touched on the colorism
Mm-hmm.
slightly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm. It's big. It's a lot. It's a lot.
it's too much to get into, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I,
You
I,
see it in beauty products, makeup and all that. It's a lot. And then during the pandemic, they try to address it. And they're yeah, no, them a lot of beauty influencers and things like they were not playing with these companies. They're like, you have to change up the way that your boardroom looks, the way that you advertise, all that. And it could be for stunts and shows, but at
so
least people made the effort.
hear me out though,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I guess this is like a general question. So, like, what does it mean to be proactive
Okay.
about the things we need as a community so that we can take care
Mm-hmm.
of ourselves? Like, and this is like a external conversation as far as skin, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, my only, I don't have it's not really a gripe, but it's commentary. My only
Okay.
commentary on a lot of the things that took place during COVID,
Mm-hmm.
when we were inside the house, when we couldn't go nowhere, so you had to pay attention to certain things.
Right.
Breonna Taylor happens. I can't think of there's too many names, and sometimes
Too many names.
but those things happen during COVID, and we reacted
Right.
to those moments, right?
Right.
What does it mean in this conversation that we're having to be proactive about the things that we need for our skin? Like, of course, it starts with going like, oh, I need to locate somebody who I can talk to who knows these things for myself. But aside from that, what are some of those things that we should do to be proactive?
So, and this is a bit of my philosophy as an esthetician and for my company. And I've been meaning to do a video on this, but of course I have my own issues and problems. You know how we talk.
You wear multiple wigs.
It's child, and they not even lace fronts. Please help me, please. But seriously, it is all about a conversation with self. It gets deeper than rap, or rather, how I would like to approach it is deeper than rap. It's very holistic. When people are really wanting to take care of themselves, they have to really look at themselves and be like, I can do this. Somebody has to take accountability for what they are doing to themselves, especially if it's not a hereditary condition. Like, if you know your skin is not where it needs to be, but you have a poor diet, you're not sleeping well, you just have lifestyle habits that just aren't great, we have to take accountability in that. And it's okay. That's why I'm here. That is why we are here.
Listen, I try to get more than 6 hours of sleep. No, I don't. No, I don't.
It's okay. Some people, they just operate on a different clock. So you have that, for real, you have that accountability thing. And then, with accountability comes responsibility and discipline. Once you're held accountable, you're going to go out and seek somebody that can help you. And when you do come to me, as your esthetician, we're going to ask certain questions to really, really get down to the nitty gritty. Like, what is going on in your life that you cannot pay attention to yourself and take care of yourself? Or what are some of these past traumas that you have been through that you are telling yourself that it's okay to just use anything on your body, or that it's just okay to just do whatever? We'll spend so much money on our outer appearance as far as like clothes and things like that, but what are you really paying? And it's not to say that you need to pay a lot of money for great skincare, but what are you willing to pay? Because there's certain things that cost a pretty penny, and you got to do it. You just have to do it. You have to do it.
Listen, I already know, because after I seen the cost of CeraVe, and I was like, hold up. I know,
but that's not even.
That's what I'm saying. I know it gets more expensive than this.
And that's not necessarily to say that that's the good stuff, but they're more expensive because of the technology that goes into it and how the delivery systems within the product is. So, like I said, that's a whole nother
Mm,
conversation.
mm,
But for me, as an esthetician and as a Black woman, just certain things that you grow up, the traumas. Some of us did not have a great view of ourselves until we saw ourselves. A lot of people, colorism, you can grow up in a family and you're the darkest one in your house. For me specifically, all the rest of my family members are dark chocolate. I'm the lightest one, and I'm a good caramel brown. Everybody else is dark chocolate. It never was an issue, but I know for my brother, may he rest in peace, like he was the most chocolate. And my mom, she did a great job of boosting him up, but I knew that he felt bad about it. You'll have some people who, they love, and it's all they like. They've been called, come here, little big headed boy, or come here, little ugly, just really, and people think it's pet names, but that sinks in deep. And when you're growing up, and you're hitting puberty and then other kids get involved, so many things get thrown into that, and so it makes you think of yourself a little bit lower than you really are. So when it manifests and when you get older, it's like okay, I don't really care about this. I got these things. I got these things going on, but how can I really handle them? Or should I really spend this much money because it's not a big deal? Like, no, it is a big deal. You are a big deal. Not to say that skincare is luxury, but treat yourself like you're a luxury item. You're expensive and you should look like it. You know what I'm saying? We can teach you these things to take care of you. But once you do come and you're ready for a change, you have to be disciplined about it. Have to be very disciplined about it. A lot of people, they'll try different products on their face. They're product junkies, and they're product junkies because they're hopping from product to product to product. No, if you are working with an esthetician and they are telling you to use these specific products, you need to use the products. Don't come asking me for things and you're not going to use it at the frequency that I'm telling you to, because you're not going to see a change. A lot of us, we are very results oriented. We need things very, very fast. Let me tell you something. If you have dark spots on your face, number one, if you're not using any sunscreen, it's all for naught. The
mm.
sun, the sun is almost like it boosts up the melanin production in your skin. So just think about it.
I
This
just
dark.
I just want to
Mhm.
state real fast. I'm just really proud that this has been going on for an hour, and that may be
Uh-huh.
the first time that melanin has been used, and I love that. I love that so much. Because we throw it around too much. But go ahead, continue. I'm sorry.
And I can get into that. I can get into that after we finish. So
Oh,
because people just swear that they're the smartest things with the melanin. Child, we all got melanin. And guess what? White people and black people, let me just get into it now. White people and black people produce the same amount of melanin. So when these white folks come around and say talking about my melanin is popping, they're absolutely correct. It's a different type of melanin that we all produce. You have pheomelanin, which is more red and yellow. And then you have eumelanin, which is what your Fitzpatrick's 4 through 6 or black people produce. So we have lots more eumelanin, eumelanin, than we have pheomelanin. But everybody's melanin is popping because we all produce the same amount. Yeah.
ooh, you just
Yeah.
destroyed a whole bunch of T-shirts. You know that, right?
And that's fine. I get sick of it. I'm sick of it. Um, but yeah, so people have to protect their skin like it's an investment, and you have to be dedicated and very disciplined to the process. A lot of people who have gotten their skin together, they're going to the dermatologist, they're going to their esthetician in between their dermatologist visit. They're using the right product and they have it on a frequency and a schedule. We all know that with discipline, consistency is key, and you have to be motivated. Because when you start to take care of yourself, you start to take care of yourself in different ways. So you're taking care of your skin. Okay, well, let me go ahead and start to eat right, because now with my esthetician, I have located that a lot of my issues and problems are due to my diet and my water intake. So you're going to connect with the dietitian and you're going to take care of that. Well, I know that because I'm eating right, I feel a little bit better. I've never tried to go to the gym before, or be consistent. Let me go ahead and go to the gym. So I just want to be a catalyst for folks. I love putting the battery in people's backs and showing them the keys. And if I can be the key to you living your best life or the life that you want, then I'm absolutely here for it. It's not, it's not just as simple as, people's skin being messed up. Some people, they'll come to me with one spot on their face and it's ruining their whole entire life. Like, they're literally in tears because this one thing is bothering them. That right there should let you know that it's a mental thing. It is a spiritual thing. It's more than just what they physically see. This is something that they have been dealing with for a while. And I want to utilize my knowledge in various fields to create a space where people can feel loved and cared for, that they can be vulnerable with me, and that they can trust me, so that we can create a plan for them to succeed, for sure. It's a lot. It is a lot, and that's why
it's like it was put together so succinctly. Right? So I mean, I don't want to. It doesn't have to go on that much further, because we could just talk. We could just
right. Talk. But it's something like, have people even like looked into like Chinese face mapping? You know how some people will get certain breakouts in certain areas of their face? Our whole entire body is connected. So when you're having issues with certain organs in your body, you're going to see that pop up on your skin. You're going to see it pop up in different spots as well. That's why, for me, if you see my logo, you have the two triangles. I do a as above, so below type situation. You want your outside to reflect what's going in on the inside. So we gotta tap in, sooner or later. I'm going to take some Reiki courses, because that energy has to flow right. Nursing school is on the path for me, because I want to get more into medical aesthetics and things like that. I study herbalism. I study a whole lot of things that I'm ready to put into place, because it's more than just skin. It really is. Skincare is whole body care. And when you get with an esthetician that cares about you as a whole, it works well.
Yeah, that's it right there. Okay, so as we come to a close.
Yes.
All right. There's a couple things I need from you.
Okay.
One, drop the label, damn it. Because first and foremost, don't nobody know you got stuff going on. I know you wear all these different wigs, right? But you got this one. You ain't brought this one out the back yet.
I haven't brought it out, and it's because I have my own little thing of imposter syndrome, and also I know that if I can be honest, I'm very young in my career. I've only been licensed for 3 years, and I have to constantly remind myself of that as well. But excuses are tools. So excuses are tools. So people can find me on Instagram at C Buford Aesthetics. Definitely all of my information is on there if you want to book a consultation with me. If you see me on the internet streets, please ask me any question that you have about skin. I'm not like these Twitter stations. Honestly and truly, I'm not going to hit you over the head. And people, because they know I'm not going to hit them over the head, they'd be like, what's your Cash App? Because they no, you are giving this information and you need to be compensated for it. I'm here to help people. So any offerings are amazing. But yeah, you can definitely find me on Instagram at C Buford Aesthetics. I'm on Facebook under C.Buford Aesthetics. Website will be coming shortly, but really all my website would have is my booking link. So there's that.
And she will travel. So don't.
And I will. Okay, so this is, if anybody is listening, if you've made it this far, that is my main goal. I my goal is to have luxury holistic services. I want to come to you. If you got that bag, I want you, and it for real, if you
Nah,
got that bag
and
and
take care of yourself.
you feel like you want me in your city within 24 hours to give you an experience, because I don't give facials, I give experiences, okay?
This is a fact, and I know this personally.
So if you want to book me for an experience, let it happen. Like it has been my main goal. Like, I want to come to your city. I want to have a hotel suite waiting there for you with somebody serving you wine, tea. We can have the food out. We can have everything for you to get your service. You can have that one-on-one time for me. No, I didn't just present myself as an escort, but you will pay me accordingly. Now, I'm also here for the groups, men, women. I'm here to do any type of training for skin that you need. If you just want to have a small group of folks and you want to learn and you want somebody to come in and do service after teaching you, come in and do services as well, let's do it. This is what I'm aiming for. I've been in Maryland for a very long time. It's almost 15 years because I've been in Maryland since 2008. I've been here for a very long time, and the people who really know me, they know that I'm a nomad. So they like, what you about to do? And my main goal when I got my aesthetics license was to travel between Maryland and North Carolina, but I want to go all over. So
Let's make it
find me
happen.
on IG. Find me on IG, C Buford Aesthetics. So yes, what else do you need from me right now? What else? You said you had a couple of things.
Nah. You hit them all. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna say it so she ain't gotta say it. If you're gonna be in Winston for homecoming, pull up. Don't play with it.
Yes, please
Some
pull
of
up
y'all
all.
be out there, and I'm gonna be rude now. I'm gonna be rude now. All right, it's gonna be a nice day, right? It's gonna be early fall. It's gonna be nice out. The sun gonna be out. Don't have the skin. Don't have the sun just sitting on your skin. Have it bounce off your skin.
Have it bounce off, but it's okay because I will be in Winston-Salem. If you are listening from Winston, I will be there from Wednesday through Sunday. All that information will be going out.
I'm this stuff. I'm leaving this all in there.
All of this will be out. So I will be doing services from Wednesday the 28th until Monday the 3rd. If you hear this, you are a RAM, you can use code RAMILY, RAMILY, for 15% off because it is my 15th year anniversary from graduating from Winston-Salem State University. You can use that code off for a 90-minute experience with me. Now, I'm going to say this. Do not come to me looking for a cheap facial. We don't do those things. My facials include hand and foot scrubs. I customize it for you. I make it real sexy in there, okay? So when you see the price of my facial, please respect it. Please respect it because a lot of people are used to these Groupon deals, and baby, we don't do no Groupon. We don't do no Groupon. I really don't even give percentages off, but I love my Rams and I want people to come and experience this. So I am cutting my homecoming time of being out on the yard and cutting up with y'all for you all to come and experience me. And I also will be retailing products as well. So all that information will be
offline because
all that information will be there. I'm just so excited that, and actually there is a RAM that graduated last year. She graduated in December. She is now a current student at the school that I work at.
Hey, that's what's
so it's coming. You know, people are coming into this field because they have a true passion for it. And every time I ask one of my students, like, what are you coming into this field for? It's because they want to help people. And I love that. I feel like I'm a motivator of people, and I feel like I encourage people to really dig deep. Shout out to the water signs, to really dig, to really dig deep and to be some deep thinkers and really to touch emotions, other people's emotions, and really feel. Eric, I'm so weak at you. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You know, Aquarians.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
I understand. But I'm just so very happy with the field that I have chosen. I just am so happy and blessed that, God pushed me that way. And I just never knew that I would enjoy it as much as I do. And I definitely see myself reaching higher heights. It's definitely a calling. And I'm excited to help anybody who needs help. And our field is so vast. It is very, very vast. And I hope other people can tap in for sure.
Y'all Twitter stitches need to go hit her up for some classes.
The Twitter, listen.
We gonna end up, I think, Cavette Latisse. I'm gonna say your real first name because people don't know.
If they don't know. It's hyphenated.
Cavette Latisse.
Cavette Latisse, yes.
Right. So I just want to say thank you for spending your time with me.
Thank you
for enlightening me, let alone everybody else who's listening to this. We're gonna talk because we was talking earlier today. That's a whole conversation about stuff.
Listen,
but
shout out to the Rams. Shout out to us. Lord,
pray for them all. But yeah, so thank you for joining us. Hopefully y'all will still continue to listen to season 2, episode 2. Lord knows that I'm pushing myself to get through this without my imposter syndrome. So,
and I love it. We listen, the message that we shared the other day, it literally was something that had been on my mind for a couple of days and or weeks beforehand. And I just love how synchronicity happens. I love how God and spirit and the ancestors will have different people going through the same things that you are going through. It always lets you know that you aren't alone, and people won't know unless you say something. So I'm so grateful for you. Just your friendship over the years. You are a smart Black man, and I love me some smart Black men.
I still don't know what I don't know. I'm just out here.
But
I'm just out here.
Ibadu said it best. Look, the man that knows something knows that he knows nothing at all.
And on that note, we out. So
love y'all. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. Check out the other episodes. This will be up soon on the YouTube, so you can see all the facial expressions and all that.
Yes.
And thanks again. Boom. We out.
Awesome. Thank you.